everything was fine with the music before you started talking. That's what you meant, probably. Yeah, Jonas, ChatGPT can give you some very interesting summing. I had one little interesting experience about these songs. We had a question. We had a topic. We've been discussing, like, okay, there are like hundreds of songs since, I don't know, since the story of music, which became hits, which became popular, but the songs aren't clearly the pop music, like, you know, like the commercial pop music. So we had an idea, like, what if we take the summary of last 50 years of bands like Pink Floyd and all kind of, you know, like them, Pink Floyd, Queen and many others with the big names, but not really the bands which had a commercial pop sounding, more of like an experimental bands. So what we figured out, like, we wish to know what made those songs popular. So we wanted to take the summary. So we asked ChatGPT to take the summary of what we've been talking about and name us 50 songs first. So it named us 50 songs by like Pink Floyd and the likes of them. Then we're like, okay, what is the concept of those songs? What are they about? So in the end, when we filtered down all the information, it happened to be that automatically very open-minded human being is actually singing not about, oh, I'm in love in a girl in a red shirt and skirt. It's not about that. What the songs mostly were about is about rebirth, you know, afterlife, finding your way, path, soul, and all those things. So basically it was spiritual meaning. So what happens that most of those hits, if you go deeper, they are actually with a deep philosophical approach about humanity trying to find out who they actually are, something like that. So most of the songs had the same topic. It is about love as well, but I really pointed out that this actual part was even more interesting than just the case of being, you know, simply a love song. You know, I mean, we all write about love. Love is a beautiful topic to write a song about, but that was interesting. So this is actually a very interesting, in this case is actually a very interesting example of how ChatGPT can be used for something, you know, good, because to analyze all that information, it will take you ages, you know, it will, like, literally, I mean, can you tell me which weekend you will be able to sit and, you know, stream it all down? It's not going to happen. So yeah, this is one of the experiences on the ChatGPT. So I think like 9 minutes. You could ask if what four chords are mostly. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So okay, then you reminded me about the so how it ended, and I was thinking like, okay, for me it was very clear that the meaning of those songs, this is actually what I already write about myself. So that made me realize that I don't know, subconsciously, I mean, every human like me who is looking for something, we write about the same thing, all of us. So what makes it more interesting that back then, without an internet in existence, with the, you know, the pigeon mail, so without the internet in existence, there was the same topic raised by hundreds and thousands of people, but these are only the musicians which are well known. So we don't know use cases of those who are not popular. But there are thousands and hundreds of thousands more people who wrote about the same, that they seek for the truth, they seek for for the God, for the meaning of life. So this is the most interesting verdict of that experiment. As I said, I wrote my music, I still write my music, about that, because it's an interesting concept. I mean, I don't want to write about, I write about different things. It depends on what I'm working with. That's not a big, mystery. So the main thing is, I need some water. You said what four chords are most used in these 100 songs. We made something similar. I asked it to actually give me a summary of those songs in a, okay, so let's make a song. And obviously I asked for the chord progression based on the summary of all of those songs. So if I had this project to show you, I would show it to you. So I sketched it, I sang the lyrics that it gave to me, and I'll still be honest with you, it's kind of boring. The boring is the fact that the way you can form your thought, the way you can speak your thought with having all those philosophical sparkles happening in your mind, this is two different things. So ChatGPT was not able to actually give me what I want to have in terms of, it didn't give me anything new or a better song than I could do myself. So in this case I don't even have the sketch to show, but I tried to use those chord progressions, and I had to do my own because they were clearly boring, so I had a different vibe about it. So this is about what you just raised, and this is my kind of feedback that I've done with it. But it's very interesting to actually push the limits of how it can be used. Firstly, I want to thank everyone who is here with me. My name is Max. I'm Andy Malex. I produce music for I think 25 years now, and not counting those days I was playing with tape when I was a kid. So I literally dedicated all my life to music, and today to media production. And if you think that my stream is looking crappy, this is because I never produced that one yet. But I'm on it. One day. It's very hard to make everything at once. So yeah, I'm producing music for more than 25 years now. I've made hundreds of songs, literally, probably somewhere around 1,000. And one of my achievements, for example, is I have not only digital releases. One of my achievements that John B himself, the big drum and bass artist, he released my remix on vinyl. So for me it's kind of a very big thing, and it's just it's just to show that I actually made something. I was working with people like Tommy Cash, I was working with Genergy from drum and bass, I was working for various artists, and I was producing as a ghost producer, because that's the word more understood by others. But as a producer I was making music for others as well. And now I'm more focusing again on my personal projects like Andy Malex, Aqua Mode. And yeah, I can clearly state that I've made hundreds, maybe 1,000 of songs for myself and for artists from small to great. Some I can name and some I cannot. The topic today is about the AI in art and music, and I will show you some examples of it. And firstly, I want to say that AI as a term itself, like artificial intelligence, is just a selling word mostly. I'm not an AI expert. I not trying to say that I know exactly how it works and stuff, but I'm trying to give you a more kind of simplified, downshifted example what AI is. Maybe not actually is, but what I think so far as I know. Call it an algorithm. AI is just a selling word. It's just like a box of blocks put inside of it, which manipulates the blocks in different ways, trying to give you a combination of 2, 3, or 4, or half of one, or a quarter. I wish everyone would stop talking about AI. No, it's the first time I actually started talking about AI, and clearly, if you for example, if you compare using AI, let's say in a studio, you want somebody. Imagine you can have a guitar melody played like instantly. For example, so to get a guitarist in your studio, you'll have to arrange time. You have to arrange studio. It doesn't matter if it's yours or it's rented. So you both have to, get there, be there in the same time, in the same zone. Then the moment when you actually had this idea happening in your head, like, oh, play me a melody like and the guy is like playing it, so playing exactly what you just sing. So for example, you could like, and then AI would give it to you sounding like a guitar. For example, that saves a lot of your time and money. So now somebody can tell like, oh, but it's not done by human, it's not real, or it's not original, or it's fake. Well, tell me the difference. You have your musician next to you, a friend, and you're like, oh, okay, can you play me a melody like this? And he's like, and you do the same thing, like, play me the melody like this, and then you get the same thing. I understand that the expression of playing an actual guitar, I have a bass guitar myself over there, I'm playing my riffs. The expression of a real human playing the actual guitar is something unique, happening once in a time frame in the universe, so it's unrepeatable experience. The only problem which can happen here is that this unrepeatable experience was not recorded. So this is where you will have like, oh, you're going like nuts, like, oh, you played such a great melody and you forgot to capture it. So next time you're asking him to play it, he's playing it already differently, and there is no that spark. This is one part of the thing. But imagine you want those guitars to be on your track, but it's really taking like hours and weeks to organize a session with your fellow musician, if it's one, or imagine if it's 10 of them. And so basically when the inspiration hits you, you can sing the melody, you can get the waveform straight away, and you can straight away paste it in the track and make the demo, the sketch. So then you have everything preset. Okay, you can do the same by using a MIDI VST, you can use a VST guitar. It doesn't make any difference if you're gonna be programming in the notes of the MIDI guitar, or you will be singing them with your mouth, and AI will give you the example of the sample or a loop of a guitar based on your singing. It doesn't actually change anything. The whole problem is that the problem is here in the perception of like people are just scared. It's just all about people take it as a threat. But how can an artist who is into creating things, new ways, how is an artist cannot be using that as a tool? how can so basically I think it's clearly against the word art itself. How can you call yourself an artist when you are not experimenting or not creating anything unusual and unexpected with the tools that you have? So what my opinion about the AI in this case, let's call it an algorithm, I don't know, okay, we're gonna use any comfortable word for it, it doesn't matter, I'm not discrediting the whole concept though. So for me, for example, as a producer who wants the result to be there and then here on the screen, on the track, I want it to be easy achievable. And for me, in my opinion, I'm not 100% that way, but to make it simple, to take away all the paranoid thoughts about, oh, it's a threat to music, it's a threat to art, and basically people are spending 80% of their time telling that, oh, AI gonna steal my job, rather than doing something using AI. But again, this is a totally different topic. So for me, talking to my friend or 10 people, though I love interaction with people, highly recommend you to interact more with people. But when it comes to work on an organization, imagine if I want 10 people in the studio at the same time giving me their ideas. So all those 10 people, everyone will be naming his idea based on his psychological, social, philosophical, mental illness, problem, life experience. Everything he collected so far in his head, he will be wording the thingy. So 10 people will be giving you 10 kind of ways where your song or whatever can be taken. So you interact with 10 people and you have to clearly sit there and just filter what they're talking about. And in the end, the more people you will have in this interaction, the more opinions you will have happening in the same room, the more chances that you will end up doing zero at all. It will bring you to the arguments, it will bring you to the points where one will say like, I'm not going to play that. And you're like, why? Because he's like, it's not my style, I'm not playing blues. And you're like, why? No, I'm not playing that. So that's the idea. You can end up in situation like this and the session will be ruined. Now, if you use AI, doesn't matter which kind of tool, as a session musician, in this case, not to make it for you, but what is the difference, who will be you don't see, actually there are 10 guys standing, you know, and I'm speaking there like, hey, give me an idea, and he's giving me the idea. Or there is a machine standing, I was like, can you give me an idea? And he's giving me the idea. What is the difference who will give me the idea? The difference is, for me, is that the AI in this case will have more information summarized, like more information streamed down, summarized. It can give you more analytical things. Jonas, is it Jonas or Jonas? What's the right way you can... Okay, Jonas said like it gave him the chord progression which he could implement. And this is another way. It's like, oh, can you tell me which chord progression should I do after this? So what is the difference who will answer you this question? Your friend or your fellow AI session thing? For me, the difference isn't big in the end. But the most important that in the end listener still decides what you have done. And it doesn't matter for the end listener or the end reader of your book or whoever end user of whatever thing you are doing, no matter with your sweat, your hands, or using your computer in IT or whatever, nobody cares at all how it was made unless they love it and they want more. That's it. So this is where everything ends, that you are not deciding. So all those moral values, they can be there, they should be there. The moral values have to be high, the high standards have to be there. But we are talking about the practical use of tools which can benefit you as a professional. So, and yeah, as I mentioned, that in this case, like a session musician, in this case, the session musician can give you, well, the session musician AI can give you, starting with same results, sometimes maybe quicker results, so it saves your time, efforts, money, and nerve. I'm gonna take you to the point when I'm gonna show you examples, and they are actually right away. They are not far away, so I'm not only gonna be speaking with no practical examples happening. You're gonna see them soon. So basically, imagine we made once a comic book, so we wanted to have it drawn, and I write to post on Facebook like, guys, is anyone drawing incredible, pieces of, I don't know, art? And I was given the phone of somebody who is actual drawer, a painting artist, I don't know what's the right word. So I'm contacting this painter, and she's sending me all those pictures she's drawing by hand. And I realized that I cannot afford myself to waste her time by drawing all that for me, all those hundreds of pages, not because of the money, because how I value what she's doing by hand, how many years of experience, practice was put into that skill to be able to draw like that. So I understand at that moment that I cannot afford to waste someone's time to use all that skill set, because the price I value that I would love to pay for it is so high, and I am the one who actually gave it price psychologically. She wasn't naming the price, she wasn't asking thousands or hundreds and thousands of units, credits for that. She was ready to do it, but as I said, I wasn't ready to take it, because I saw that it is worth $500,000, so to speak. It's just generalizing, but you get the point and you get the philosophy behind my words. Yeah, like Victoria is writing it, that when we use skills of our musicians friends to play our melodies or to play something, nobody is actually bragging that, oh, you are not a musician, you didn't make this melody yourself, but everybody is bragging that, oh, you are not a musician because AI played you that melody which you sang to it. So yeah, it's again is a good example of nonsense. So I'm going back to art. So I realized that, so for that person to draw me all this comic book which I wanted, it will take me like thousands of years, to be honest, because I will have to be, yeah, color should be this, color should be that. We would be meeting again and again, going for the sessions. I will be arranging. It will be coffee, time, traveling, arrangement, kids, headache, something happened. All the nuances, all the force majors will be applied straight away, because this is life and nothing happens smoothly for no reason. Every time you will end up that you're going smooth, and then there is a situation. So I've realized that to use this person to make my comic book, even if I would pay her monthly, she will not be able to draw it constantly on a daily basis, because she will be exhausted, she will get tired, the eye will get soapy. Still, I'm not pointing that I'm discrediting the fact of actual drawing. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm totally talking about a different point of view and taking this situation. So I've realized that this comic book will take me millions, it will take a lot of time, effort, and it will be ready, well, in next, I don't know, 5 years, because till we're gonna be organized to get all the things. Yes, she will draw the scenes exactly the way I want. I will blow her brain out. That's the fact. I will be coming, and in the 70% of the process I was like, you know what, let's change the color. She's like, but it's hand drawn, and you're like, yeah. So you know, you're kind of this dickhead client, you know, which is like, yeah, I know, but I want the colors purple now everywhere. So you see the idea, it can happen, and it will. Or the person, you'll say something and it will, you know, the person will freak out, and like the project will be ruined, and the project will be ruined. And so how comes that you've done so much effort, you've spent so much money, €500,000 you spent on it, and now the person, because you have to compensate the time, you didn't agree that, oh, I'm gonna pay you when you finish. So she worked for you 2 years, didn't finish, and you get the point. And yes, Jonas, you're right. So for like a couple of years ago, when there was the first AI image generators. Oh, I need more water. I imagine I remember the movie Man in Black. There was this cockroach guy. He walks in the room, and when the cockroach got into the human body, and he's like coming to his wife and saying, water. And she's giving him water with sugar, and he's like, more. He's drinking that water. And she's like, what's wrong with your face? And he's like taking his face like, it's like, is it better like that? I don't know, I just had this moment in my head, for instance. So and then I was starting to use all those AI image generators. And I'm a philosophical thinking person. I am writing stories in my music, in my work, like, you know, as long as I remember myself, I love to create stories. I love to create universes where there is something happening, and I speak about it through the music, because that was the first thing I could describe the situation emotionally and take you through the different, you know, like concept like of the song, to show you different scenes and episodes. So basically I've done it all my life. And when I took the first AI generator, I was like, give me man standing like this there. And the whole point is that it was giving me crap back, and it was not giving me even anything close to the man standing like this over there. And obviously I was like, okay, so I've tried it in a very, very like early stages, like, okay, what's that? I mean, come on, I need it. So at some point I started to realize, like, okay, I need to go more creative on the thing, you know, I have to actually be creative myself, rather than expect that this thing will give me a result by giving no prompt. So I wasn't giving an input to get the result. And so basically what happens next is that somehow I start to achieve like creative arts by making I started to make some cover arts for my own tracks based on those early AI image generations. So last year I was sitting in a car on the back seat. We had like a long trip. I was sitting in a car, and then like, oh, there is an AI image generator. And then I was like, okay, what if I start making those? I was doing silly kind of prompts, like, oh, you know, like make the you know, well, random stuff. And I was getting like, wow, why is it actually giving me what I wish to see. How is it actually working? I mean, and I started to experiment with the language I use to communicate to it. So basically, by experimenting with that interaction to this, I started to realize like, whoa, actually I start to understand how to explain myself to that, and that actual thing actually starts to reply back to me with what I'm asking for. And then I was like, oh, what if I... And then I was like, okay. And I remember the scene of the first scene of this comic book, and I was like, okay, can you give me, and I described the scene of this comic that I didn't make this comic, but I started to sketch it, and I was like, okay. And I was using the tool to actually create the scenes from the comic which we once created on a sketch paper, with my friend, and then I'm sitting like, wow, I can actually make the actual comic myself. So at least the first thing, if you cannot do it yourself, you can do at least the concept art, which will now look how valuable this time-saving thingy was. You make the concept art, you sketch it to your 50 pages of your comic book, and then you are printing it out, and you're going to the artist like, you know what, I saved your time, like 300 years of your time, and this is the actual concept art. Could we do something like this? So you see, now everybody is like, oh, I don't believe somebody will disagree with me on that point, that you actually took your ego away and you cared for someone, not wasting their time. Yes, you saved money, you had less efforts, so that's the whole point. What is wrong with that actual Victoria, you are my translator in the chat. That's so perfect. Beautiful. That's great. That's what I like. You will be my moderator. So yeah, so see, this is again something very valuable for all. This is for you, and this is for the one you are interacting with, this painter, artist, or whoever it is who you are showing this concept art to. I highly sure nobody can disagree here. But I took it even further because I know how to write those stories myself, and I was like, what if I... So actually it happened a little bit accidentally. I started drawing those sorry, yeah, I'm not taking credit fully for that. This is the same as if those hundreds of painters were drawing it for me. I cannot draw myself like that, and I know that. So that's the idea. 100 people should be able to draw me 1,000 of pictures. I can have 10,000 of images in a day with what I need. I won't be able to pay for it to so many people to sacrifice their lives and to push their creativity to limits to be able to do that. This is art. You cannot force one to shit with hits. It's not impossible. I mean, it's not possible. And it's not impossible. You can have a very good trained muscle. That's true. You can be a hit maker. This is actually possible. Yeah. So it's 50-50. And suddenly, as I have this imagination, I started to picture the city. And I saw the futuristic city, which I was like, oh my god. And then I had this bubble exploded inside of me, and I realized that I can feel here in my mind that, oh, I see this city in my head. So I started to see this actual universe happening in my head with all the actions, consequences, episodes, characters. So it started to just automatically, I could see the living world. And I thought that I can take finally, because my background in the very beginning as a kid, I was dreaming about the technological progress. I was dreaming about the Fin TV before the Fin TV wasn't even there. My mother is a witness that I came to her like, Mom, the TVs will be like this. And she is like, yeah, if you say so. And I was like, yes. And the TVs are like this today. And I'm not calling myself a prophet, though I didn't make any profit. So basically, yeah, if I was actually making profit on all of my ideas, I would be a billionaire for now. But it didn't happen. So basically, going further. So this actual world exploded in my head and it started to live on its own in a parallel universe. And I can do nothing about it. And I figured out I have to take it out on the paper. I need to see those places that I see in my head, and I started to pronounce word my requests to the algorithms to actually, okay, give me an example of people running through the street and the car is burning, whatever, whatever there was. So yeah, I started to sketch all those pictures, and in the end I saw that what I have here started what was in my imagination, I was seeing that on the screen, and I was like, wow. And I started to write the book. The whole stream won't be only about the book itself, so we're gonna go to the music later on. I have enough of examples to keep you entertained, but I really have to tell this background story because I tell it for the first time. And whoever just joined the stream, we are talking about using AI in art and music and different, I don't know, ethical moments in that case. So I thought I'm gonna take the book further, and I actually gonna make the book. So what happened that, Jonas, you will be blown away in a second. Give me just 5 minutes. So basically, what's happening next? I'm taking my computer. I had to buy a laptop because I was like, okay, I need something just to be with me. And I started writing the thing. But I have to explain you one thing. Whatever I was writing about, it wasn't made up on the go. The whole point is that the whole basis of my music is already based on those stories and that actual universe already exists inside of me. I can feel it, I can live it, and I can show it in my variety of works with my tens of albums under different names. I already done it. The only difference, I didn't make it in the form of music, I started to write it as a book. So I sit down and I actually wrote the actual thing, and I printed 100 copies of each, which is a limited edition book for where I had scenes and different episodes. So this is the story which made the MOLOKO universe, actually, which gave the start to MOLOKO universe. So I made the actual book. It's printed, there are still copies left. This is not the stream to just sell you the book, so don't worry. I'm not going to scam you. And when I was pitching that, guys, I have the concept for like series of comic books, and somebody told me, what if we sell your concept to Netflix? Because when they heard the actual story about what it is all about, I'm not going to spoil you the story, it's not going to happen. Then I start to give the ideas to pitch the ideas to potential investors that, okay, I want to make this book, and I tell them the whole story all around, like, like this, that. So imagine this is the world, so it's going to be like this and that and that and that. I explain them where it starts, where it goes, how it ends, and they're like, people were blown away as like, man, we can sell it to Netflix, like, because I mean it has to be. And I was thinking that, yeah, before it happens, because most of the cases when you pitch something to someone, you end up by waiting that the miracle will happen, and I realized, no, I'm not gonna wait. So I figured out and I found a way how to make those into a movie trailer. I took all the art from the book to create a trailer to show that yes, it can actually be more alive. So this is a trailer for the first book and introduction to atmosphere of MOLOKO universe. The first book is called Ghost of Vega, and then basically, yeah, the music is written by me, not using an AI. I'm a musician. I know how to make music and draw, program notes. So obviously the limited edition physical hard copy is not sold out, but I made enough money to write the second one. So the second one is taking you further to the story and exposes more of that world which you are going to be in. So my friend who bought this book, he is like, okay, he got so inspired, and then I told him like, oh, maybe you want to make a soundtrack with me, so let's take this story to let's go creative, let's do it all together, let's make it let's make good art of it. And I'm coming to his place one day and I was like, oh, what's happening? And he's like showing me the track. I was like, wow, I was like, wow, it sounds so like it's supposed to be like a MOLOKO soundtrack. Slava, can I sign it? And can I release it for the book, please? I mean, it's so... He's like, don't worry. I made it for the second book. And I was blown away because that was so dedicated. So I'm gonna show you the second trailer that we've done. And this is the second trailer for the MOLOKO book, which was done by Slava Krom, Spoiled Kid. And on that stage I figure out that I cannot just sit on the idea of it being only a physical one-way interaction book. Physical book is, in a digital age, you would say it's something cheap. Oh, okay, perfect. So at this stage I realized that the physical book is something that you can have as a limited edition thing, as a gift, as a memory, and many people straight away they run into me like, okay, I'm gonna invest in that, and they started to treat it as, as you would treat something valuable like a cryptocurrency or a limited edition car. So people took it like this. What happens next? We realize, okay, we want to create a place where people can gather all together. So no matter where you are in the world, but we're actually making a metaverse and a community where people will be taking part in the story and the process. That actual platform and platforms that we're working on, we are building that technology at the moment. We're making the platform where people can be as a character taking part in the story, so you will be playing an actual online game, like a universe which exists in your imagination, so to speak, and you can see it depending on how we will be able and what we can achieve technology wise. We will achieve the way it will look like in the end. So for now there will be a website where everybody will be having an account. Just stick to MOLOKO and you will know. Then now I want to stop talking about the book. I give you an example of visual art connected with the music, and what I clearly understood while giving you that example is that after what you just seen on the screen, how can this be taken as a threat when it can be taken as a way of actually expressing your thought, idea, and creating the most unique art, which I wouldn't ever be able to do without AI. I asked on Facebook in one of the Ableton groups is that if anyone knows if there is an AI that can which can make vocals, so I don't have to use, I don't know, as I said, like musicians and all this stuff. And I was so criticized at some point, and only few people, they're like, yeah, there is a plugin to do vocals like this, vocal like that, and think like this. And I was like, okay, so I clearly figured out that it's like a 50-50 case. There are some plugins, there are some ways that you can apply AI tech to your music, but there was clearly nothing close to what I was asking for. Okay, I found a way, and I asked my friend, like, okay, can you send me a recording of those lyrics, make it on a whatever, like just like a sound message. So I asked somebody can you sing me the lyrics? We have no soul, we have no mind, the world is sold, forget humankind. So I wanted to go, you see, today is 2024, I wanted to have a little bit of post-irony and post-modern in my art. So I asked somebody, can you sing me the lyrics? So then I can ask AI to do the same thing. Now I'm gonna show you the track that the friend of mine sang upon.
We got no soul.
So when I received the vocals back from my friend, I'm sitting there and I was like, listen, I wanted to make the post irony out of the whole idea of making the AI sing the lyrics for me. I wanted the song to be post ironical, but you sang it in such a soulful way. How can I scrap the vocal now and make a machine actually sing the same stuff? Because I already have the vocal. I don't want to use AI in this case anymore. So that's it. I thought like, why should I suffer that vocal now on that stage when I have it sung by an actual human, which I love how it sounds like. But there is a fucking problem with all that. This is the actual AI singing based on the text input that I gave to it. That's not the human vocal. At all. Not even close. Nobody was even singing a jack second to it. I literally gave it the text only. You wanna listen to it again? So AI is singing about we have no soul, we have no mind, the world is sold, forget humankind, in the most soulful way. That is a top of the post irony itself. Basically, yeah, and this is not the only tune that is being sang by that algorithm. I have a release happening on February 24 on the Liquid Brilliance. You can see the picture over here on my screen, but this is the teaser of the 2 tracks that will be released on Liquid Brilliance in February. So what happened on those on the Ableton Facebook group when I asked for the like AI plugin, I had so much like criticism, like, oh, it's not art or whatever. Sing yourself. Well, I can sing myself, and for instance, I will show you the difference. Yes, that is the AI singing. Now I will show that, I mean, I can sing. I know how to do it. This is not what I was asking. I wasn't asking the life advice on, oh, guys, tell me how to sing on my songs. I will show you how I sing. This is the moment when you're telling the truth and you're thinking like, oh, they're gonna actually think you are lying to them. Well, I can break down the projects of my songs and to prove that it's me. So this is how I sing on my songs, just to show you that yes, I am aware of what the singing is. But the whole point is that the fact that you can be a runner or a singer doesn't mean that you have to sing 24/7. I was looking for something that I can experiment with, to take something further, you know, in a more interesting way. And you know, it is here, it's already available, it's there, we can use it, and we're using it, and we're going to be using it. I mean, because it's interesting which way you can take this tech further for sketching or for actual songs. Or I mean, you see, asking it to make lyrics is boring, but to see how it can sing your song the other way, which you didn't sing that song in the very beginning, is so interesting and so exciting and inspiring. So this is me singing my song, actually singing my song. So no problems on that track. There will be no out of the closet, it's me. So here, now comes the moment for the end listener. We're talking about ethical moments. This is me singing. This is not me singing. Before you knew that this coming out on Liquid Brilliance thing, Easy to Love, wasn't sung by AI, before you didn't know about it, it didn't bring you any kind of wow effect, no emotions, you didn't like it. Whole idea is that when you make it to think about, so when you make it think about love or something like post-ironical, in the sense that a robot doing that, I mean, that takes it to another level of art. Thank you, best of luck. I wish to all of you in this year that whatever you've been dreaming of, wishing for, you will not have to wait anymore. So whenever you're gonna give it a little push, it will all happen. So I'm wishing you that. Good luck.